In today's video, we sit down with fellow crypto miner and content creator, your friend Andy, to discuss the upcoming Bitcoin halving. We are less than 8 days away. It is currently April 11th, and I cannot wait. But there's a lot to talk about. As a Bitcoin miner, how's this going to affect us? What are our thoughts and speculations on the Bitcoin price, the network hash rate, difficulty? There is boatloads of things to speculate on, and well, who better to chat with than Andy? Well, here we are, folks, joined by your friend Andy. How's it going, Andy?
Hello, hobbyist, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you, and good to be here. Trying to combine those into one single word.
I love it. I love it. There's no editing on this channel. We just jump right in. It's nice and casual, nice and easy. Awesome. So, guys, today we have a lot to talk about. The time of this recording, it is April 11th. So we're 8 to 9 days away. It really fluctuates based off of the block time, and the Bitcoin halving is coming up, and there's a lot.
I really hope we're 9 days away.
Yeah, I know, right? Come on,
the magic, right? But maybe 8 days. Yes. Sorry.
Yes.
Continue.
I'll be honest. I've been keeping an eye on it, and fluctuations on what day it is. Sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 9. It kind of fluctuates. So that being said, we're going to kind of attack this from two sides today. First side is going to be more Bitcoin mining. What are our thoughts on it as Bitcoin miners? And then the second part of it is just going to be the elephant in the room, Bitcoin's price. So Andy, talking about Bitcoin mining, you have multiple Bitcoin miners. You are an investor in Bitcoin and hold Bitcoin. Are you nervous? Are you excited? What are your thoughts and initial feelings on the upcoming halving?
Only excitement. There is no nervousness. This is my second halving to actually be a part of going through it. Mm-hmm. It's my third halving to feel the effects of. And as someone who has seen the cycle a bit at this stage, I see the same things happen over and over again each time, which is we get close to halving. We have all the people come out of the woodwork who talk about, it has no effect on the price. It's already priced in. It's a big, nothing burger. Or the other people who are like, aren't you worried about your miners? Aren't you worried about making less money all of a sudden? Why would you buy machines? It's all going to be half as profitable, and these machines are going to be obsolete. So it definitely foments a lot of fear in people, which is one side of it. But I think those of us who've been around for a little bit longer, we no longer feel those things. We've put those silly feelings behind us, and now it's just feelings of excitement. What's it going to look like this time? How are these, this narrative, how are these different elements going to play out in that this time? Because this cycle, as we both know, is fairly different than previous ones. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this happens, how this takes place with all these other factors going on. But I'm very excited.
Yeah, I think initial thoughts for me on my side is the fact of, this is my first one. I'm excited. This is my virgin Bitcoin halving opportunity. And however, I've learned a lot from individuals like you and other individuals in the scene who have experienced multiple halvings, who have said nothing but positive things. And there's a lot for me to anticipate. I anticipate that, we will see a lot of miners drop off the network. Originally, I anticipate that price may dip for a little while, but then massively recover. But these are all anticipations just based off of what I've heard in the past. I think, as you had indicated there, this is much, much different. Everybody I've talked to has been like, Bitcoin adoption is massive. Bitcoin is mainstream. On top of that, we then have a massive adoption from larger investment groups with ETFs and everything like that. So Bitcoin isn't where it was several years ago with the last halving, or the one before that when it was completely unknown. So I think that does lend to a lot of this, and I'm really excited about it. As a miner, for you, how many Bitcoin miners do you have now, and what are your thoughts as to expectations that you expect day one or week one? Sorry to interrupt your video, but check this out. I constantly get emails from the community asking me about trustworthy hosting facilities in the United States that I recommend. Well, I got you covered. Listen up. A few months back, I visited BlockOps Mining's brand new facility in Central Arkansas. The team there was super professional, knowledgeable, and everyday miners like you and I. After visiting the facility, I sent them a few of my ASIC miners for hosting and have been super happy with their service and communication. go contact BlockOps Mining directly down below in the video description and tell them the Hobbyist Miner sent you for great pricing on miners and hosting.
25 machines now. My latest 6 that I've added are all S21s. Expectation, day one. So yeah, a lot of people newer in the space, they see the halving coming and they expect, because they've bought into this whole idea that's good for Bitcoin, which I ascribe to, but their kind of time preference for that is very, very short, and so they go, oh, it's the halving day, it's this thing's going to go to the moon the next day. Doesn't work like that. Take some time. So my immediate expectation with my machines is that a lot of them are going to either be at break even, or maybe even some of the older S19s that I'm running might be losing a little bit of money for a couple of months. Maybe we'll see how high the price goes. But the S21s especially, those will be profitable day one of halving. So that's short term. Maybe a little bit of short term pain for hopefully long term gain, because I think, and I've said this a few times on my channel, I've said this a few times on the live stream and stuff, I think 2024 and 2025, depending on when this peak bull cycle happens, I think I could actually make more Bitcoin after the halving than I have been before the halving. And it sounds like a crazy thought. We can talk about this if you want to go more in detail. But my basic thesis there is fees, transaction fees. That's one of the beauties of being a miner. We both know this. You get those juicy transaction fees if there's a lot of activity happening on the network. Once upon a time, GPU miners, they're on Ethereum. When Ethereum is like super congested, you were making crazy profits every day. Well, in the past, Bitcoin has had the same problems, but that might be super compounded over this next cycle because of all the things that are going on. These ETF purchases that are happening over the counter, but also somewhat on market, that still has effects that carry over to the market in terms of having to buy all these things and transfer all these huge amounts. But that just gives into FOMO for other people to jump in and buy Bitcoin on-chain. All these transactions filling it up. But mix that with the whole narrative of ordinals and BRC20 and take your pick, which in a bear market doubled my mining revenue overnight for a few weeks. In a bear market, what's it going to be like in a bull run? Like, I think I might make more Bitcoin. Again, crazy theory from Andy, but I think I might make more Bitcoin in the bull run after the halving than I do now. So, those are my longer term expectations, some kind of bull case. But overall, I mean, if you care about the amount of value you get back, it's going to go up if the price of Bitcoin goes up by a lot. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, as a miner, you instantly get concerned. Oh man, my block rewards are cut in half. We're gonna go down to 3.125 per block. And so instantly you're like, oh no, like that means less, rewards, less profit. That is correct. Absolutely, it will occur. And I think I'm in the same boat that you were. I have several S19s, some Canons out there, M60s that may be a little bit older, like lower hash rate is where my mind instantly goes. And I'm like, okay, like I have 300 terahash units too, that I'm like, all right, those are definitely going to be ones that drop instantly. Like the profitability on those are going to drop instantly. And I think those that are listening right now, a lot of those individuals have S19s out there. And I know a lot of them, some people have said, hey, we're going to power off because we really don't know where that profit's going to lie. And I get it. I think that network hash rate will drop. I think you're going to see a lot of people that drop off just unsure, uncomfortable. You're going to have the individuals that have the capital, like yourself and I, to continue mining, putting a lot of faith in Bitcoin, regardless of the expense that we pay for electric and such. And so that also takes me up to, as a miner, just a few weeks ago, I bought five S21s. And a lot of people were like, whoa, why are you buying those? Why don't you wait till after the halving? And it's like, right now, those are kicking ass. Those 5 miners are making almost $150 a day. Why would I wait till then? Like, what get in, just pull that trigger. There's never going to, people always think there's a better time. There's a better time to buy miners. There's another miner that's always going to be better. I get it 100%. But like for me, I'm like, I want those miners up and mining several weeks before the halving the best I can. So that's definitely where I'm at as a miner, as a first time Bitcoin haver, as to what I'm experiencing right now. I am 100% going to keep mining through. I'm not going to be concerned about that, because at the end of the day, as long as I'm getting those Bitcoin payouts, that's my goal at the end of the day. The profitability may fluctuate, but guess what? We just came out of like a 2-year bear market. So we totally are in the mindset of mining with lower profits. Nothing has changed, guys. Like, so for me, that's exactly how I feel in the excitement, kind of moving forward. So for you, let's talk about purchases. What recent purchases?
Can I say
absolutely,
two quick things on what you're just saying? Yeah. I thought two things you said were really important to circle back on. One, talking about people who are mining currently and they're bummed that we're going from 6.25 to 3.125 Bitcoin, and like, it's going to suck to be getting half as much. Well, you're wishing you could stay on that 6.25 forever. Well, what about the people who were at 12? 12 and some change before that. Do you want to go back? You can't go back that far. So, just get yourself in a mindset where you go, okay, 3.125 is the new normal. I want to mine as much as I can while that's the block reward before that gets cut in half to 1.5 and some change, right? So it's all about like perspective, one, but two, if what you just said happens, and I mean, I assume it will because it happens every time, then the network hash rate does drop a bit after the halving. Mm-hmm. If that does happen, well, then if you can, you better be like mining through that, because any drops in network hash rate or difficulty are like a Bitcoin god's blessing to you. And so if you can afford to pay the out of pocket whatever and just capture that extra BTC during those periods, those are opportunities. So yeah, I just thought those two things were really important to double back on.
Yeah, absolutely. So now let's talk about purchases here. So what recent purchases have you made from a Bitcoin miner perspective? You talked about it a little bit there. And then any that you have your eyes on or target on coming up over the next few weeks or next few months?
Bitcoin specifically, the last ones I bought was also 5. I bought 1 petahash of S21s. I had bought 1 previously, but then several months later I bought all 5 in one go. I don't know if you said you were doing it first or if I was doing it first, but I don't know. I got in my head, I got to buy 5. Got to get another petahash online ASAP. So that's the most recent Bitcoin purchase. And then, of course, right after both of us buy those, what does Bitmain do? They go, hey, hope you enjoyed spending money on those. We're going to release new ones that are even more efficient and powerful for basically the same price. So if you're enjoying those, you're going to love these. So buy these, and they'll probably release another one. So, I mean, I probably will look at the S21 Pros or just wait and see what the next one is after that. But at the moment, I don't have anything else in my crosshairs immediately, other than knowing I probably want to acquire more hash rate into the future, while also trying to balance that with the bull run, and that I also want to offload the machines I currently have when the timing is right, because I think I could probably sell them at much higher values than they currently are, and then wait for the bear market to pull back around, and then buy them up again or buy different one, the newest models, and then just mine all the way through the bear market again, rinse and repeat. It's just a beautiful little cyclical thing you can do.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm looking at like, okay, I'm feeling pretty comfortable right now with Bitcoin miners. And I constantly, one thing I've learned from the bear market is diversification is key. And as much as I love Bitcoin, I'm like, okay, what other projects can I get into that are very fruitful? Like, great examples, a lot of people have picked up K7s right now because those are kicking butt, doing $30+ a day. I have 2 of those and absolutely love those. So my mindset is like, okay, I feel really comfortable in a Bitcoin position. Even as, some people may ask, oh, do you feel the S21s kind of their Bitcoin halving proof? And I would say absolutely not. However, taking their current profitability today and just cutting it in half, they're still very profitable. So it's like, all right, I'm in a good spot for sure. So I think for me, I'm definitely going to wait and see. And I'm not necessarily on wait and see for better pricing, because just as I said earlier, like, I'm not following that. For me, it's more like, what other projects can I make sure that I diversify into? I'm at about 30 total ASIC miners now, and I have about 15 of them are on Bitcoin. So diversification is definitely out there, but I want to keep that going. So with the time that we have left here, Andy, the big one here, and this is all speculative, but you've also been through many of these halvings, is price. What do you expect Bitcoin to look like in the next 2 weeks, next 2 months? Kind of give us your thoughts and feelings.
Immediately before or immediately after, somewhere in the couple weeks around the halving, I would not be surprised to see a small correction, 10 to 20%, somewhere in there, maybe. Or maybe we don't even have one. Maybe we're in a new paradigm and that doesn't happen this time. I don't know. Short term, I would not be surprised to see that, though. Traditionally, halvings have had that little bit of correction, and then at the earliest 6 months to like 9 to 12 month time frame after the halving, that's when we see the rapid price appreciation. But if you look back at the charts from the past 2 halvings and cycles, halving happens, and then basically it's just up and to the right afterwards. It's slow at first, but it is going up and to the right afterwards. So my expectation is over the next year, this thing starts to pick up momentum and appreciate. And I would not at all be surprised to see $100,000 Bitcoin by end of this year. But if things do get delayed for economic reasons or whatever, then 2025, certainly. The Bitcoin ETFs being approved was the missing ingredient last cycle that stopped us from hitting $100,000 Bitcoin, in my opinion. We have that now. We've already blown past the old all-time high, and we haven't had the halving happen yet. So very bullish conditions for Bitcoin. Base case for this cycle, $100,000 to $150,000 Bitcoin. Bull case, like $200,000 to $300,000 Bitcoin. Hail Mary, let's throw it. Let's see if it gets in. That type of thing. People start losing their faith in gold. They lose their faith in fiat currency. They want another escape vehicle. There's all these ways, this unprecedented access to Bitcoin all of a sudden. There's these ways to get involved into it. All the right things happen at exactly the right time this cycle. Hail Mary case, $500,000 Bitcoin or higher. But personally, I will be thrilled with $100,000 to $150,000 Bitcoin if that's as high as we get.
Don't get me so excited, all right? Man, you're really hyping it up here. So yeah, I can, there's a lot of things to unpack there, and I can agree with. I think, as I said, this is my first halving, so I can only speak based off of other people's experience and kind of looking at previous cycles. Previous cycles had a lot of those ingredients you talked about missing. So it was naturally maybe a small dip afterwards, and then, just an upward to the right. However, there's also the other school of thought, which is like, man, we have so many things going for Bitcoin right now. As we talked about at the very top of this video, with so much adoption. Bitcoin is a household name now. And if it's not something that's a household name, it at least is they know of it. They've heard of it. They've seen it on the news. Someone's friend has it, whatever it is. So I think that really puts a lot into perspective that this cycle may be absolutely different. And I think that's why this kind of current period that we've been in the last few months where profitability has come back, it's very much unknown. Some people are calling it the bull run. Some people are saying, no, we're still in the bear market. It's because there's so much undefined, because it doesn't make sense. We've gone through the roof. We have an all-time high before even the Bitcoin halving, which is crazy. And it's like this perfect storm. So much adoption, mainstream media is in there. And then, oh, wait, we have an election year coming up in the next, several months. It's like, holy cow, like this is the perfect storm. And traditionally after an election is when we see, the economy most likely will recover. But I think you talked about a lot of things there where like, people having more, less faith in gold and dirty fiat. I totally agree with you. I mean, the economy does not, based off the people I talk to and what I'm seeing, the economy is not rebounding very well. It's not doing the best. And so I think putting, investing into Bitcoin where you see something continuing to go up, I think is a no-brainer. And more people I know are looking to get into it. So I think that's really going to affect the price. I'll be a little modest and say I could see maybe 100,000 within the next 6 months or so. 150 would be insane, but I really don't know. It's really good. It also, there's a lot of dependence out there. Like, do we get close to 100 and then we see the SEC try to jump in and cause some problems for us as Bitcoin holders and miners and stuff? Like, unfortunately, we've seen that in the past where there, others are looking to down some of the success. So I am super excited. I think price is a big one. I mean, I'm looking at it now. We're at $70,228 on April 11th, which is nuts. 9 to 8 days away from the halving.
Today's video is sponsored by the team over at Quantum Expeditions. Bitcoin mining can be incredibly profitable, but as most of you know, doing it yourself can be complicated and risky. Unpredictable costs, equipment failures, and high energy costs make it very difficult for regular people to achieve consistent gains, let alone scaling up. Quantum Expeditions makes it easy for retail investors like yourself to participate in the vast opportunities of large-scale Bitcoin mining without ever leaving your house. Join a community where you can contribute your knowledge and feedback or learn from the experience of others. Now, for a limited time, you can invest directly in the company through an exclusive Regulation CF crowdfund and earn from the future growth in the industry.
Quantum Expeditions just completed their first deployment of Bitcoin miners, 3 weeks ahead of schedule, so now is an excellent time to get involved.
Come check out the Quantum Expeditions link in the description below.
And to put that in perspective, last halving, the previous cycle's all-time high was 20,000. Last halving, we were at $9,000 when the halving happened. We were down over 50% from our previous all-time high. We are over that this time. And what you just said about the whole, reiterating this losing faith in fiat and whatever, and then talking about the price. I saw people posting the headline of inflation in the U.S. is higher than expected or whatever, and immediately people are replying to that because I saw it on the one of the whale or watcher guru accounts or something. It was kind of more crypto focused. People are like, oh, so yeah, Bitcoin crashing today, not such a good hedge against inflation after all. It went from 70 to 68, and now it's again back over 70. It's like just zoom out, people. Like this has been an incredible hedge against inflation if you just zoom out far enough. So yeah, I'm pretty interested to see that stuff play out as you were just saying.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, there was somebody I was speaking to last night talking about like, oh, I can't wait to get a 401k, and I'm like, really? Have you seen our economy? I was like, take that money and invest it into Bitcoin. Like, I'm no financial advisor. However, traditional markets, they're doing better. Okay, great, but nothing insane, and they're not really a good hedge against inflation. So yeah, I think investing is this time around with all the adoption with ETFs and all these major investing groups, it's been super impressive. So we're just a few days away. I'm super excited for the halving. I cannot wait. Andy, I appreciate you joining me today to talk about Bitcoin mining and the Bitcoin price. Before we go, any last thoughts?
If this is your first halving, take it all in, take a moment to step back and kind of enjoy the whole process. It's probably not going to happen like you expect it's going to happen. So just be open to, how things are going to play out. And I think the important thing here is as you watch things happen, don't just be a passive watcher of all this. I mean, enjoy that, definitely do that, glean what you can, but think, as practically as you can, what are the ways I can take advantage of these big moments in a market like a crypto market? And if you're watching Hobbyist channel, you're watching my channel, one of the ways you can do that is by mining or at least buying hardware now and flipping it later. There's lots of ways you can take advantage of stuff. So try to think proactively as you go through this. Enjoy it. I think it's going to be a very exciting year. So, I'm here for it. I'm glad to be on the channel. Thanks for having me. And I'm excited about covering this over 2024 and 2025.
Awesome, guys. Well, that's going to wrap things up for today. I'll leave links to all of Andy's channels and social media directly down below. And for myself and Andy, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Hopefully you enjoyed today's collaboration with Andy. If you guys want more content with Andy and more conversation, check out this video up here titled So You Want to Be a Crypto Miner, packed full of valuable discussion and conversation. Also, 𝐋𝐨𝐤𝐬 fans, check out this video directly down here where I sit down with Greater Good Mining and talk about becoming 𝐋𝐨𝐤𝐬 rich.